Macho John Madden Juanito in Acamal, Mexico. I'm at the north end of the Acamal Pueblo, and I'm a Chicagoan. I'm a U.S. guy. I haven't lived in the jungle before, and this is not pure jungle, but this part of the Pueblo was carved out of jungle just about 8 years ago, and it does have that feel to it. And it's so beautiful. Palm trees. The guy next door brought me bananas the other day that he had cut off his banana tree in his backyard over there. Every part of my life is so miraculous these days. I've been in Mexico almost 2 years, and almost every day since I got to Mexico, I pinch myself and say, "You're in Mexico, man. It's so different here. It's so different. It's so spectacular. The vegetation, the way of life, the culture, the language, the people are spectacular. I never tire of raving about how amazing the Mexican people are and the Latino culture, and the children are astonishingly happy. They're different here. Kids are always a miracle, but the kids in Mexico are shockingly happy for so many reasons that I detail elsewhere. So I made an 18-minute video earlier about being thrown out of the Garden of Eden and all the places in the last 20 years that I thought I really wanted to stay. I don't know if I mentioned in that video that I really wanted to stay in Chicago in the fall of 21. It's my hometown. I was so happy there. And then, but I got there the beginning of October, and towards the end of November, when we were starting to feel the beginning of winter moving in, I went, "No, you can't stay here. You hate cold. You hate cold. You learned to hate the cold in the south, in the Blue Ridge Mountains, because there was some genuine winter there. No, you have to go." And then sitting here, I thought, oh, and there was Orizaba, Mexico, 2 hours west of Veracruz, up in the mountains, one of the 30 magical pueblos. That's another place you thought you'd never leave. You knew you wanted to be by the ocean, but Orizaba was so magical that when people would ask you, "Well, how long do you plan to stay here?" Because I'd been there 7 weeks. "I don't know, man." In Spanish, usually it's in Spanish. "I don't know. Sometime between another month or two and the rest of my life, because I don't know how I'm going to leave this town." It was so wonderful and magical and enchanting. And then my camper van got stolen. My whole way of life for 4 years of living in a camper van. And I had to go someplace where I could stay and not ramble so much. So thrown out of the Garden of Eden there. So I was out here thinking about all that, going, life is so miraculous. And I've recently been making a whole package of videos in response to a TV personality and online podcaster called Kelly Corrigan, who in one of her I like her a lot, and in one of her podcasts she said, "Let's face it, some things just suck. You have to. It all gets crazy if you don't accept the reality that some things are just bad things." I went, no, that doesn't fit my life. That's not my experience. My experience is that even the toughest things I've gone through were sent to me for a reason. They all worked out. So I was thinking about that out here. Wow, what a miracle. All the places I've been thrown out of the Garden of Eden, including now, I thought I wanted to stay here. And I can't. I can't make money here. This isn't a sustainable life here. And Tulum, to the south of here, really fits you better. And then this morning I was online with stuff about Tulum, and it was like, holy cow, I'm going to be so happy there. They have raves. I'm all about dances, and everywhere I've gone, I've thought about opening a dance club. I got an article from some Philadelphia Inquirer or some major newspaper in the U.S. where they're saying, Tulum, they have raves in the jungle. Yeah. So I was looking at all this stuff for Tulum this morning going, yeah. It felt like a bad thing when I realized I can't stay here because I can't make any money here. There's no English speakers here. Uh, and it's right. It's perfect. It's not just right, it's perfect. In Asheville, North Carolina, which was one of my gardens of Eden, one of the places I wanted to live forever, there was a banner on the outside of the church I went to that was a quote from poet Emily Dickinson, and it said, "To simply live is so startling, it leaves very little time for anything else." And that's my experience. Just being present to this foliage, these wonderful, sweet people, the spectacular color of her blouse, all of it. Sound of the morning doves. So in Mexico, they like to say gracias a Dios. When you ask somebody how they are, the classic reply in most of the places I've been in Mexico is muy bien, good, I'm very good, gracias a Dios, and they give the credit to God. And I say that again and again and again and again. I probably say it 20, 30 times a day. Gracias a Dios. Whatever God is, to me, God is not the traditional Christian God. I've been influenced by Buddhism and lots of other things. But it's something. It's something. There is something that ties it all together and makes it all work. I don't understand it. I've been trained as a scientist, a PhD psychologist. My analytical mind doesn't understand it at all. But it's true. I know it's true. That there's, whether it's higher power or the force or the matrix, there's something that makes it all work. And when I decide to criticize one part of it, I'm missing something. I'm missing the boat. Gracias a Dios.